But yeah, moving on. A lot of stuff happened this week.
It was a pretty crazy week.
The biggest thing probably, I think, in the news, or I would say in the social media news, has been InfoWars with Alex Jones, I would say, which is kind of interesting how there's a lot of arguments that were displayed through a lot of the chats and a lot of through Twitter and whatever, Facebook and stuff. And I've seen it, like, I would say I would seen it from every angle. I get it. What I want to ask is, like, the initial question is, was banning him the right thing to do in the sense of protect? I mean, is it a right thing to do in society to ban him?
No.
Okay.
Especially, I think the conundrum here is that was a great sentence. Whether or not Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all of these, are they platforms or are they sources? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they have always claimed to be platforms. And if you are a platform, then what happened to InfoWars can't happen. Because all you are is a platform for speech.
And creativity
and so whatever that speech is, see, everyone has the right to speak, and everyone also has the right not to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to hear anything from InfoWars, then don't follow them, or don't listen. Don't click the link onto their thing, or
don't promote.
Don't watch their YouTube videos.
I think another thing that's what you're seeing is, like, people. You're kind of if you repost, oh, look at this idiot. You're still promoting whatever he's doing.
Like, that person's getting clicks.
Yeah, like,
they're making money off of you.
I don't think you understand, like, reposting something that's like that. Like, oh, look how stupid Alex. And then people are gonna like, how crazy is this guy? I want to go watch this.
Yeah,
and like you're basically promoting. I think that's what I think the left doesn't know, but even the right too as well. But
yeah, it happens on stuff like that happens on both sides, where it's like, oh, look at this. Look at how stupid this person is.
I thought one of the interesting arguments was the way people were talking about how, for me, looking at it a business standpoint, if I saw that I was losing sponsors or whatever ad money through, like, say on YouTube, I was losing ad money on Alex Jones, then yes, I think I would have, like, the argument, like, I would see it that way. Like, yeah, I could think I would have the right to say, I would think, he's gotten warnings and stuff. I think I would have, they need to handle it better, I feel, like, for YouTube especially, because they've warned them. I think the final warning has to be, like, I feel, with as big of a channel he is, I know, like, oh, we got to treat everyone equally, but for him, like, you got to, like, I think like a meeting with him would have been the better, or some kind of conference call, like, tell him, like, hey, yo, dude, like, this is what's happening. Getting more of a straightforward answer than just outright just taking it.
So remind me, like, what were the warnings for?
They were just,
for people who may not know, or like,
from what I've seen, it's just older videos of, like, the conspiracy theory stuff, like the Sandy Hook stuff. Their other one was like some weird, I don't know what it was, a weird video. I have to, like, relook at it. It was just like a stupid way of banning someone, basically. It looked like to me, and I follow the Philip DeFranco channel, so he covers this a lot. But just like the process for YouTube specifically, I think for the bigger voices or the bigger channels or something like this, they need to, like, directly go to them, like, hey, yo, before you're doing this, like, before banning, I think for sure the process needs to be better. I understand, like, YouTube itself is, like, they're very busy. Obviously, have us uploading and everyone else in the world, but for that kind of channel, I think they need to go directly and say, hey, yo, this is what's happening. Especially after, like, I get the warnings and stuff, but, like, and he should have maybe toned it down. But I think from the reason why they banned him, I forgot what he said this past week, but it was just like, I guess it did cross the line. If it was like, it wasn't Pizzagate, it was something else. I got to re-listen to the Philip DeFranco show because he had, like, a whole thick 15-minute video. But basically, there was, like, they just banned them, and then you just saw a whole domino effect of, like, all the other social media, like Spotify, Facebook, I think I'm not sure about Twitter. They got in on it. iTunes obviously was like a big one, or Apple. And it was just like interesting how like everyone just threw it all out. I get the idea that I don't want to call them lies because I don't know if they're lies. For me, like gay frogs, I think it's funny. Like I love the what's it? I think that there's like a not Bono Veer. It's someone does like a parody music video of him. It's like really funny. But I mean, the Sandy Hook stuff is like pretty nasty. I don't think that's true, but like I don't know. There's still stuff that he says that are like some of it like in a way is kind of like Trump. I'm not saying like they're exactly the same, but I'm saying like Trump and like what's going on with this kind of issue? Why aren't we addressing this? There's stuff like that I've seen him say. Just like on little things like backtracking on like certain candidates or something like that I've seen him talk about, but I'm not saying like he's totally necessary to be like you need to listen to him or something like that. I'm just saying like he's definitely said some weird stuff in the past that like makes sense. Like gay frogs, that's a fact, a thing that's actually happened.
Yeah,
which is like weird, like to bring it up, but it's like there's stuff like he says that are actually sometimes are actually true. It's just you have to like not cite the sources, but just double check what he's saying. But for me, I don't know. It's like First Amendment and stuff, but it's also going back to like the what's it called? I mean, YouTube is a business, and also that the Supreme Court decision with like the guy not baking the cake for the gay couple. It's kind of like that in a way. I kind of see it that way as well. So it's like I get that they're a platform, but I think they need to be more upfront as well. I think a lot of people on the left need to be more upfront what they're actually doing and what they're actually standing for or what they actually are. Because I feel like they are too vague, or they just don't want. They're just avoiding the label. But yeah, I think it sucks for him, just because I don't know what he's gonna do now, but he's gotten a lot of publicity out of it. I know he's been on he's been a guest on Howard Stern. I'm guessing he'll probably get on Howard Stern because of this again and talk about this, and then he'll probably plead his case, and then also with Joe Rogan probably. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the next coming.
This microphone
weeks.
hates me.
I think you just gotta like you keep on pulling it towards you. That's the problem.
I use this elbow like you told me to.
No, but originally you were doing.
Well, I'll continue real quick.
Yeah.
I just think that no, I can hold my own mic. I got it.
I'll fix it.
I think there's been for me personally, I feel like there's been a disturbing. Is that I'm not sure if that's the right word. Concerning, probably not disturbing. Concerning attack on the First Amendment. What I view as an attack on the First Amendment. I think that what YouTube and all of like YouTube, Apple, Google, all of them did is fine. Especially like YouTube, Facebook, people like that. If you just like declare that you are not a platform. Like they have to define themselves. They can't play this game where they are claiming to be a platform but are acting as a private organization with skin in the game. Like you can't have it both ways, in my opinion.
Right, we're back. Technical difficulties.
Okay.
No, we're good. We don't need it.
So basically, it's just like there's Twitter has recently had its own. So like, what I was saying was that like. People like these, especially the social media, like Google and Apple are kind of, although Google owns YouTube, I think, right?
Yeah.
So like I kind of view them as like their own thing. Like those, I guess, in some ways, Apple is a platform as well.
Podcast.
Yeah, for like podcasts and stuff like that. But Facebook, YouTube specifically, you need to declare like if you're gonna behave as if you're not a platform. Then you need to declare that you're not a platform. You don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to say, oh, we're a platform to put your stuff up on or whatever, and then treat you like they're not a platform.
Yeah. I mean...
You can't pick and choose. And then...
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. Twitter has like their own problems with recently the shadow banning thing where it's like, oh, and then they came out and said that... And the shadow banning is only happening to people on the right. and they
Well,
said
there's people on the left that's been shadow banned, but yeah.
when I read
most of
about it
them
a couple
are.
weeks ago, I didn't find anyone on the left that happened to. Anyway, maybe there is. Maybe there has been, but it is predominantly on the
Yeah,
on the right.
predominantly on the right. Yeah.
Then they come out and say, "Oh, we don't shadow ban," but in the same press release said that like, "Oh, we may make it harder for you to find things." So it's like we don't shadow ban, but we kind of shadow ban.
Yeah.
And like you can't have that either. And then there was a Candace Owen thing not too long ago where like she made one post with like the adjective for the person was white and then the next one was like Jewish or whatever as this like test thing to see like what would be banned and what wasn't. So like there's just like you can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, I think and then there's still stuff on like YouTube that are like way worse than like or all these social media that are just way worse than Alex Jones. Just like a lot of stuff.
But they don't have the reach.
Yeah, they don't have the reach. That's what I'm saying too. That was like what I was gonna. But I think also what you're looking at is like when I don't know what I was gonna say. Like I posted something in the chat thing we had, and I said like, is Alex Jones worse than communism? And like I think it was like a majority of everyone just said Alex Jones is a piece of shit, but yes, Alex Jones is not worse than communism. So I'm like, but there's a lot of pro-communism stuff, like stuff like that goes like on the internet. There's like terrorist organizations that use social media, stuff like that are way worse than Alex Jones. We're not trying to like say we're not trying to say we're endorsing or we're supporting Alex Jones from what he says, but he still has or should have a place at the table just because of the.
He has a right to say it.
Yeah, and then also with I would think with Mark Zuckerberg, he said the wording on what he said when he was at the Hill like not too long ago, basically saying like Facebook is a publication like in gist of it, and like they're not. They're supposed to be a platform in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And like you see also on Facebook is like there was a video on explaining different governments and it was covered and there's nothing like there's no blood, there's no nudity, there's nothing like that. It was just straight because what was being said either was offensive or just not what Facebook wants. And I thought that was interesting. Like why is this video being covered? It's just talking about like different governments and stuff and explaining like fascism and communism and stuff. That was just like it's just weird.
I think it's just a bit of a slippery slope.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can really do, like I posted, I'm like, yeah, it seems like the right needs to make some kind of social media site where you allow everyone to speak regardless. And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no competition. There's competition, but there's no real competition until YouTube.
I think the first thing that needs to come if there's going to be any changes is some sort of alternative to YouTube. And I guess there are probably some smaller sites out there that are available now. But like with everything that YouTube's doing with like demonetizing like Dave Rubin, for example, like it happens to him all the time.
Him, yeah, for sure.
Or at least he's the most probably one of the most public.
Yeah, him and Philip DeFranco have been pretty public about it.
Yeah.
And like Philip DeFranco is explaining like what goes on in the video and just like I don't know why it's being demonetized for, and it's like one of the like he doesn't know what some of the reasons why it just turns off.
Yeah.
So
YouTube has problems that could be resolved, but obviously there are a lot of people that's like, oh, well, just like go make your own thing to put videos on. It's like, yeah, that's like not at all easy.
Yeah.
And you have someone that's claiming to be just a platform. But like I said, for like the third time, they're not behaving as if they're just a platform.
They're policing.
Like there shouldn't really be a need for someone to have to go make their own like video site. There shouldn't be that need. YouTube should be neutral. And just YouTube is a platform that people put videos on. And if you don't like those videos,
then don't watch it.
Then don't watch it. You have the right. Everyone has the right to speak, and you have the right not to listen.
Yeah.
And you have the right to say whatever you want about whatever they said.
And also, I think it's just like people are just not being adults about this either. They're just like being very, like they act like I feel like a lot of it's just like high school, like responses. Like, dude, we're not in high school still, dude. Come on, calm down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think. If you think Alex Jones, if he should have been banned, if he shouldn't. We know he is not the best of peoples, but like I said, I get the argument like he spreads lies and stuff. I'm like, dude, there's a lot of other people that lie straight to your face and you don't even know it. So, welcome to America.
Basically.
You just fact check them, and that's it. That's all you can do. Just do some research. Don't be lazy and like just believe everything he says. I don't get that. Like that's another thing. That's probably another problem. What it is.
Yeah.
And what goes on with the Facebook videos and stuff. I'm like, oh, just double check the facts. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Let's move on.